Alright, hello everybody, this is beau-hindman back once again with I'm going to do an updated tutorial on JoyToKey, which is this program that's going to allow you to use your joystick or your controller gamepad to basically control your mouse to do other functions. It's really simple. JoyToKey is a free program. Make sure you go get it at JoyToKey, spelled out Joy, T-O-K-E-Y. Just Google it. Make sure you contribute if you can. And then you're going to download it and you're going to open it up and you're going to see basically this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Neverwinter, an MMO, as kind of a test here to show you how different things work. I have some basic controls going on right now, and I'm not going to get very complicated. I'm not going to get into the really nitty-gritty stuff yet. So if you have any questions about more deep or complex things, make sure that you ask in the comment section. Hopefully more advanced people come. This is just a tutorial like my last one I did several years ago. I wanted to update a little bit. But essentially what you're going to do is you're going to open your JoyToKey program and you're going to want to find out which of these buttons correspond to the things on your JoyToKey program. It's really easy to do. You can say that this is stick 1 and that this is stick 2 and that this is point of view or whatever. You can memorize that, but the easiest way to do it is if you watch my cursor, which by the way at any point you can go to your keyboard and mouse and take over. It's always enabled. First thing though is when you get JoyToKey, go to options, and right here where it says show hide buttons, you're going to want to do the drop down here and show all axes, 8-way plus point of view, blah blah blah. That's going to enable you to see, and I'll go back here to joystick so you can see. That's going to be able to see these triggers and to alter the triggers. Normally they're not enabled, so go make sure you enable that. It's just going to give you more choices. Okay, so you have the controller, you have your JoyToKey open, you have your game you want to control it. Say, you can see I'm using my mouse right now for it, but I can also use my controller. So first thing you want to do is you're going to figure out, all right, let's say if you want to find out which button this trigger corresponds to, you simply click it and it's going to highlight the button, so you know, oh, it's axis 5, whatever, blah, 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 and that's the one you're going to be able to contribute, or that you're going to be able to change. A very simple one is going to be, let's have this mouse, this controller button, your left controller button. You can adjust it however you want, but let's say make this one as it's going to move your mouse around just like this. As you can see my controller. So as I move it to left, you're going to see it highlights that very top one. Now we know that this is stick 1, but let's say if you don't even know that, you can just move it and it'll highlight, just like the triggers, just like these buttons. Well, these are down further unless you see those. But you can just adjust it however you want. So as I move it to the left, you say, oh, that's stick 1 when I move it to the left. So here, let me move it back again. There you go. See how it's highlighting? So you just double click on that. This is the one. Now this next screen is where you're going to adjust and tell it to do basically some, these are your basic movements, your mouse, your keyboard, stuff like that. You have special keys. I'm not going to get into that. That's where you can really do some crazy stuff. But if you look at it, you have mouse movement, you have camera movement if you want, or driving, I should say. So this could be camera movement. In this case, it would be driving. Your D-pad can be shortcuts to whatever, to different grenades or special abilities. So you have, and then you have your bumpers here and your regular buttons. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 basic buttons just right here. Now, I'm using MMOs as an example because I'm an MMO player. That's plenty. You're going to have 4 or 5 or 6 main abilities. If you want to do more complicated stuff, let's say like Shift F9 for your mount to pop out or whatever, you're just going to need to either figure it out in here or just reach down to your keyboard. Now this might help with some people who have mobility issues or have achy wrists. Like me, I have old man wrists and they get kind of achy. So I use this sometimes to kind of take off some of the weight off of just keyboard and mouse. And like I said, you can go back and forth. Okay, so in this next screen, it's the assignment for stick 1, for this to the left of on your left stick. So in this case, you see the cursor movement right here? You're literally telling it, do I want to make it turn to the right, turn to the left, how far over? This also indicates how quickly you want it to move. Right now I have it adjusted really quick, so you can watch that, how fast it moves. It moves really fast, so see how fast it's going. So I've got it turned all the way up. You can adjust that to your liking. Remember, inside each individual game, a lot of times you can adjust cursor speed as well, so you can kind of adjust it in the game. I turn it up to 100 and usually get in my MMO or game, and it usually helps. It usually has an option to control it in there. Okay, so if I wanted to make the cursor go down, for example, I would be using this one here for down. So I would make it go all the way down. Right now I'm just going to leave it on 0. Where do I get it? How do I get it back to 0? Let's cancel that and open it back up. Okay, so left goes all the way over. Okay, so now I want to make the right mouse go. Oh, it's this next one on down the list. So you double click on that one. You push it all the way over to the right. I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see that. So you push it all the way over to the right. That's going to say when I push this to the right, the mouse goes over to the right at that speed. Okay, so now if I want to go down, and you'll notice also the arrow keys are on there indicating which direction it should be. But you can also just push it. So I'm going to double click on that one, and it says, as you can see here, push down. So I'm going to push it, make it go down all the way. You can do things like it says button click. So for example, I have this one. If I move my cursor here, for example, I've indicated that this one right here is a left mouse click. Or did I do this? Oh, it's this one. I'm sorry. So this one, but when I push that button, I double click that. And where did it go here? And I've indicated that this is on button 9, which is your button click. I double click that, and I just made it left click button. I could also make it click the wheel, the middle of your wheel, which is again another button you can have. Right click, which I should have on that one. If not, let's see if I have that on that one. I thought I did. Yeah, see I have right click on this button. So it's just however you want to do it. You just need to find the highlighted key whenever you move or use it, and it might take some experimenting. So, like you can have your D-pad here, and then you just indicate for that key to do different things. Now let's go to the game just for a practical application real quick. Right now I'm using my mouse, as you can see, so I'm driving around. You have to use W in this game, stuff like that. So let's say, for example, as you can see, my first ability here in Neverwinter is the Q as in Queen key. If I hit it on my keyboard, it does that. It's like a disappearing cool move. Neverwinter's a lot of fun. So let's say if I want to make that somewhere on my button so I can hit this button and it will correspond to Q as in Queen. Well, I'm just going to go here to, I think it's this one? Yeah. So if I push button 5, you see how it's holding it down? And by the way, as I do this, it's going to be pressing it in the game. So you press the button, you see, oh, it's highlighted here on button 5. Double click on that. Now, when you double click on that, go to the keyboard section here, and then you just highlight. So see how it's highlighted in yellow? And you just highlight it and hey, say whatever you want. J key, highlight it. F9 key, highlight it. Let's say P as in Paul key, whatever. Let's say now down here I've got my mount on. If you can see down here on the game, and you should be able to see that. Next to my backpack is my mount key on number 6. So let's say I want to make that number 6 instead. So this key now should hit number 6 and bring up my mount. Let's see. Hit Alt to go back to the game. There he is. There's my mount. So now I'm on my mount. So I can look around. I've made the mouse cursor switch around with this, so I can look around with my camera. Again, I might want to get to the game. Let's see here. I probably got mouse option, mouse look sensitivity. Turn that down a little bit. There you go. It's not so crazy now. You see, it's very, very simple. Now, in this game, normally to go forward, it's not typically highlighted on your arrow keys. It's W as in William, and then A, and then D, and then S towards the camera. Because it's a mouse look camera like this, or a mouse look game. So it's kind of like a first-person shooter. So what I want to do is I want to make myself go forward. So again, I'm going to go back to the game. Sorry, back to JoyToKey, see where it corresponds. Up, W, you can also see it there. Double click that, and in the highlighted box, put W as in William. And I believe on these other ones is where you can combine keys, Shift W, Shift 1, that type of thing. So that's where you're going to kind of mess with stuff. You can get into it. Like I said, I'm not going to do too much of the experimental stuff right now. I'm just going to show you the basics. And so once I've said that this one is W, let's go back here in the down one. I want to make that S as in Sam. So now that should make me go backwards. There we go. So I got forwards, backwards. This steers my camera. Takes a little getting used to it first, especially if you're not. Now I can go backwards. Now I want to use A and D, so A to go left. So I'm just working with my A because I was messing with that earlier. So let's make let's actually take that off. How do I reset it? That I don't know. So anyway, let's just set that there. Let's go to keyboard keyboard, and A is an apple, which should override it. Push Alt to get back to game. So there we go. So now I have forward, backwards, A. Now I need to make that my right one as D as in David. So I just go back to there. Where is it at? Okay. D as in David. Click, back to game, Alt to get back to game. And now I have all my controls I need. The camera takes a little getting used to, for sure. So see, I can look around, can move. Oops, stupid camera. To double click, I think, I haven't tried it much in this game. How would I do? Oh, you just double click the joystick. Very cool. So I can hit Q as in Queen there and do my secret ability. Oh, that calls my mount, I'm sorry. So you can just basically remap whatever you want. All you're basically doing is taking this controller, looking at, pushing a button. Let's say you say, I want this button to be my healing potion, which right now that button is, let's see what that button is. That's disabled. So let's make that my healing potion on, you can see in my game here it's at number 5. So I'll say, okay, button 6, disabled. So I'm going to hit that, hit key number 5, okay. Go back to the game. Now this should now take, if you watch at number 5, healing, no usable in PvP or in full health. Oh, well, I'm in full health. Okay, but that's still, it's trying to take it. That's the warning it gives you. So it's trying to take my healing potion right there. If I want, let's go back to that button actually. Let's just take care of that. And what was the thing here? Let's do E as in Edward. So let's do that as E as in Edward instead, because that's a secret ability. So let's say Alt to get back to the game. So now it should do my special ability. Boom. See that? So then I have Q, this one here, I'm sorry, this one here gets my horsey. This does my secret ability. You can just remap it. A lot of MMOs, even the complicated ones, aren't going to have that many hot button keys that you need to worry about. So, I mean, you have 12 here. With combining, you'll be great. You'll be great. Like I said, if you really want to mess with stuff and you really want to get into it, go for it. If you have any questions, ask in the chat or in the comment section, and we'll see if we can get you some answers. But it takes a little getting used to. Like I said, I've got the controls kind of zeroed out a little bit weird here, but that's one way you can basically do it. So all you're doing is, first thing you're doing is you're going to options, you're setting show all axes, then you're going back here and you're just figuring out what buttons on your joystick or on your controller correspond with what shortcuts in JoyToKey, and you're just matching this up. So just find your button. Let's say this one here. Let's scroll up. This is POV to the right. Just double click it and assign it whatever you want. You can get into assigning it hotkeys for your speech and all sorts of stuff if you want, but that gets into a little more complicated. Generally, you got to remember that doing, talking in chat and doing stuff like voice emotes and all that stuff like that, you're not going to do it all that often anyway. So this is really what I have found is this is mainly used for games that you're just kind of grinding or having a good time with your buddies, where you're not doing the complicated stuff too often. So if you're doing a lot of crafting or anything like that, you might reserve that for your keyboard. But you can eventually do that. I might do a video in the future that's a little more advanced. But anyway, that's just a basic idea for you. I hope that makes sense. If you have questions about it, put it in the comments. You can also tweet me on Twitter at beau_hindman. Make sure to follow me there. Follow me on YouTube here. I do all sorts of crazy videos. And ask in the comments, and maybe some other more advanced users, because there are, in my old video there was quite a few people talking, asking questions in chat stuff or in the comments that might be able to help you. So that gives you an idea. I hope that works for you. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time on my next video. Bye bye.